Welcome back to another reaction to Sentence to Be a Hero, episode 5. Right? 5, 5. So, we have the unfortunate job to lure in the Demon Lord into this fortress, and it sounded like they wanted to get rid of us as well. In the meantime, it feels very, backstabby way. Now, I forgot his name. I'm bad with name. Doesn't matter. The guy that always is behind the lines, the one that is controlling or, is more or less the tactical part of the heroes of this hero group. He did some uh, talking and he got some concessions for this job. But it feels like some of these are a little bit more premeditated. As example, before it was like if someone tries to run away, they all get their head exploded. But now it's like only if all of them run away, which is a little bit weird. We also got introduced to the sniper, which is going to be interesting. So we will see what is going to happen. I don't have good feelings. I'm assuming we are going to kill the Demon Lord. But what else is going to happen?
名前はツァーブ。
はーい。
仮名はなく、通称は食人鬼。
なあ、グエンモーサの教団に育てられた暗殺
When Mosa is
者はそういうものっすよ。
Ah.
一月に8人か。好き放題やっ
育てられた
通称は食人鬼。
Man-eating
なあ、グ
ghoul.
エンモーサの教団に育てられた暗殺者はそういうものっすよ。
一月に8人。
Man-eating.
好き放題やってくれたな。
ああ、実は違うんすよ。俺は正直者なんで言っちゃ
It's more than 8.
うんですけど。殺したのは12人、5割増しです。ほら、俺って根が真面目でお人よしじゃないですか。貧乏くじ引きっぱなしなんすよ。
So where's the man-eating part coming from?
人を殺した。そこに罪悪感を覚えないのか。
あはは、すみません。いいとか悪いとかの話ですか？俺道徳観念ってマジでわからないもんで。そりゃ、気に入った相手を殺したら嫌な気にもなります。でもそれ以外は全然よくわからない。俺が教団に頭ん中まで影響されないで済んだのもバカすぎてその辺よくわかんないからっすかね。
So interesting. So he's talking about Gwen Mosa, which seems to be a group. Gwen Mosa Assassins, he did say. So it could be like this is the question. It could be like an outside group that I would just, parallels to other shows don't really make that much sense. So it could be an outside group that specializes in making assassins, who then have the assassin work for the group or being paid by someone else to do assassin work. Or is it like a specialized unit inside this kingdom, empire, that is producing these assassin types? But whatever it is, it didn't work on him. He didn't get brainwashed. So he doesn't, I assume, doesn't listen to them. But he seems to have no regard for life outside of the people he knows. Which, maybe because of the brainwashing, maybe because he's a psychopath, who knows. He killed 12 people. I don't know where the nickname Man-Eating Ghoul comes from. So that is a little bit... But I see why he would be a hero. Killing a lot of people. It makes sense that he is, sentenced to be a hero. Now, we don't really know why he killed those people, but it does not seem like he had good intention necessarily. It may just be on a whim. Maybe someone just, he wanted to get a coffee, someone decided to cut in line in front of him, and he just killed him. That kind of character it feels like.
教団のやり方は知っている。苦痛、薬物、快楽。あらゆるものを
because they use pain, drugs, and pleasure, all kinds of methods to make children, behave in a certain way. Pleasure. I'm assuming what you mean is like have them go in a nice bars, give them a massage, I guess. Let them watch TV. Pleasure always has this little, strange connotation.
利用して子供を。
もしかして俺って選ばれし者だったりしません？やだな、責任感じちゃうな。
I mean, no one said that.
怖くないのか？お前は良くて死ぬまで監禁、悪ければ死刑だ。
That is not correct. So, this is interesting. At best, you will get a life sentence. At worst, death awaits. Now, this is interesting. He killed 12 people. However, the one interrogating him does not seem to see being sentenced to be a hero as a possibility. Meaning that there is something else that prompts the hero sentencing. I find the whole time our main character, who got sentenced to be a hero because he killed a goddess, is like, okay, I can see why you would sentence him, sure. However, he is a liability. He is very strong. He was able to defeat a demon lord. He seems to be somewhat smart. He has the experience. It is understandable that he would be a hero. He is very strong and stuff. Okay. He has the, experience, yada. But on the other hand, he may be able to circumvent the whole situation, and it is just a danger at the end of the day to the status quo. Why not have people like him, murderers, people that are just good at killing, be heroes? Why not that? Why not have a bunch of these guys be a hero? Have like 100 of these to replace our main character. Similar to the guy that our strategy dude, or he was a swindler type of character. Why have him here, someone who is seemingly very smart, charismatic, able to manipulate people, in the heroes group instead of a bunch of people that don't have those abilities? I feel like it feels like you can't make a bunch of heroes. You have something else to go on. Maybe they need a specific prerequisite. Maybe it's just, hey, we can only support 100 heroes at a time for some reason. And that is why they need higher quality heroes, even though they are more dangerous. Maybe along those lines, but this is still interesting that at least the interrogator never assumed he would be a hero. So there may be some changes. Maybe he kills a bunch of more dudes. Or there is a specific reason why people get to be a hero outside of the crimes they commit. Which still is a question, what did Dota do? Or Dota, the thief? Because he's a little bit the same with the swindler. Right, he was selling the castle. But he got to be a hero. Meanwhile, this guy who killed 12 people, not. At least the assumption is not. We know he's a hero, doesn't matter. I find this a little bit, weird. The same with our king, which seemingly led a revolt or a coup that did not succeed. Even though I assume the coup happened without his involvement really, and, he got left out. They just wanted to reinstate him as a king, which means that he has some charisma, or some people see him somewhat as a king, so it is dangerous to have him around, I feel like. Again, there seems to be more going on with the whole hero
怖くは
business.
ないのか。
めちゃくちゃ怖いっす。でも怖がっても何も変わらないんで、今のうちに楽しんでおきます。
普通の人間はそうはならない。想像力がないだけなのか。
ひどいな。めちゃくちゃ想像してますって。でもよくわからないんすよね。
I have a hard time to pinpoint the voice actor, but it is. I know the voice actor. Is it not Kazuma? Sounds so much like Kazuma. Not that I know what else Kazuma played. Trying to not find. There we go. Save June. Yeah, it's Kazuma. Kazuma Des. I'm just really bad at remembering names, so I don't really know what Kazuma's voice actor did as well. A lot of supporting characters. Interesting. Just wanted to
自
know
分と自分
because I'm just really bad at remembering names and stuff.
が気に入ったやつらの損得以上に重要なことがあります。
I mean, he's very self-centered, which is not necessarily bad.
面白いな。サーブ君。
Why do I feel like you are always there?
君は殺す相手をどう選んだ？
さあ、ただ殺しやすかっただけっすよ。
殺しやすかった。ではこのタルディという男、勤め先の役所で白昼堂々わずか70秒の間に失踪している。これも殺しやすかったのかな？
まあ手段じゃなくて感覚的に。俺にとっちゃ殺し難易度なんてどれも一緒ですよ。なので殺すのは心が痛まないような相手っす。
Okay. Again, I feel like he would be the type that would just kill someone if they slighted him. But also, it is interesting that the brainwashing didn't work, but he seemingly went through the assassin, training. Because he seems to be very apt at killing people.
それはどういう基準で？
さあ直感としか言えないっすね。なんとなく殺しやすかった。
なるほど。
So what he means is not easy in the how to kill, but just easy in it doesn't bother him at all mentally.
素晴らしい。サーブ君。君に死刑は生ぬるい。
死ぬより
Interesting. So first off, it seems like he is the one that decides who's going to be a hero, which is interesting idea. Because he was always in the vicinity whenever one of them got sentenced to be a hero, as far as we know. So, okay. Does it mean he is a vital part of sentencing them to a hero? Because there has to be something going on. They get like the Shoka on their neck, someone has to do that, then there is some kind of ritual to make them a hero. So I assume that the glasses guy is the one that does that. So he can decide.
そう、君を勇者刑に処す。
And he's able to sentence people to a hero. Which, if I remember correctly, the swindler that we saw last episode got sentenced without quote unquote due process. Not like our main character who had like this whole tribunal. These two got just sentenced behind closed doors. No one, no jury, no judge. He's deciding.
いや待ってくださいよ勇者刑って。
ああ、そうだ。死ぬことすら許さない。
It is also interesting that he did not like dying, but he was it's fine. Lifelong in prison, dying for what he did, okay. But a hero, that makes him somewhat uncomfortable, at least. Which is interesting. It's probably mostly more or less the optics of being a hero, but not being able to die. As far as I know, they can die, but they just are going to be brought back. But you still have to find the body to bring him back, right? It's not like he's going to revive after a year. Okay. So yeah, the idea is bring the Demon Lord into the fortress, poison him to death over and over again. Hope it works. Or hope you can counteract the regeneration. Gonna be honest, don't know if that is going to work at all. But I do find it interesting that they want to essentially kill the heroes. Maybe even permanently. Now the question is, we know there is a military part. We know there's the religious part. What part is this glasses guy from? Is he like a third scientific part? That is, different to the other ones? Because the military seems to want to kill these heroes to get potentially to the goddess so they can dissect her, which would run counter to the other two, or the glasses guy and the church. Church because of the goddess, glasses guy because he was the one who decided these would be the heroes. Or is the idea just, hey, we kill everyone, we are going to bring them back, but in the meantime, we have the goddess? Maybe that is the idea? Which the question is, he made a pact with, was it Hajime? With our main character. She made a pact. So they are like linked, I guess. We don't really know, but I'm assuming. So if he dies, is the pact gone? Because he not necessarily dead? He's like in a dead type state? That is going to be interesting. I feel like we are going to find out in this season. If he's dying, can they just take her away?
ほら俺って基本的にお人よしなタイプじゃないですか。標的を調
Doctor, okay.
べれば調べるほど、うわーこんなやつ殺せねえ、奥さんも子供もいるじゃんってなっちゃうんすよ。だからあんな男も勇者だとはな。
Why are you here?
何回死んでもあの調子だ。
This has repeatedly failed to change him. Interesting. we did have the information that Dash, you know, every Dash is removing a little bit of your personality, your memories. But him, nothing happened. Until now, at least.
でもあの調子だ。
この話も何十回目かな。
その辺の関係ないやつぐちゃぐちゃにして持ち帰ることにしてたわけです。めちゃくちゃいいやつ。
So he couldn't kill this one dude he is supposed to kill because he had a wife, a kid. But he needed proof, so he messed up someone else, killed someone else, messed up his face, and brought that back. Okay.
黙ってろ。
ははすみません兄貴。また喋りすぎちゃいました？
もう口貸せとかはめとこうよ。こいつと同室になったら一晩中喋ってるからね。
静かなの苦手なんすよね。ほら俺って教団で虐待みたいな訓練を受けた悲しい過去があるじゃないですか。その時地下牢に閉じ込められて。
黙れ。二度も言わすな。
ほらザイロが怒った。
Xylo, okay.
その時地下牢に閉じ込められて。
黙れ。二度も言わすな。
ほらザイロが怒った。
うわーすいません兄貴。ほらドッタさんも謝って。
は？なんて僕までそういうとこが嫌なんだよ。自覚ないわけ。
まあまあドッタさんも少しはそれを覚えなきゃ。ほら謝って。
Okay, we have Dotter. I guess we are preparing something? Some kind of extra trap? I wonder... Didn't they say Saf was like a sniper? It seemed like he had a staff? Something along that line, maybe spear? Maybe I'm mistaking him for someone else. But also, I believe they have another hero, they have another goddess, right. They prepared the other goddess that is the poison goddess. Every goddess seemingly has like an element that they are good at and they can mass produce. We have a poison goddess, we have the sword goddess, flame goddess. We have one that can look into the future. I feel like that one is very important. So, you know, maybe I'm misremembering him not being a sniper. Additionally, Dota is here, so I'm very interested to see what he stole, because I'm assuming he's maybe a bad guy, maybe a good guy, who knows. But he is there to further the story or further his own goals by stealing important stuff and delivering it at the right time. I do wonder how they even lured him or trying to lure him into the fortress. Is this attack just happening? Maybe it happened a bunch of times and this time they try to lure him in. I also wonder why she is here. I feel like that she is seen as a sacrificial pawn because she got a little bit too close to the heroes.
この調子だと夜には到達するだろうな。
It also seemed like she at the beginning she had a very bad look at heroes. She was like, heroes are bad. You know, the propaganda, heroes are bad. They are the worst of the worst. They deserve something worse than death. So you can only imagine what they did, which seemingly not that bad what they did. Apart from the guys that killed a bunch of dudes. And it's like, okay, so she grew up with that, but slowly but surely she, you know, sees them in a better light, which we see here, which is probably one of the reasons they maybe want to get rid of her. Because this could be dangerous. However, it also seemed like that she had a bunch of respect for Xylo. Because he was a leader of a group, he was very effective, he was not really following the rules that closely, but he was also able to defeat one of the demon lords. as before he was sentenced, and since his sentencing, he defeated 2 more. So I feel like she has a lot of respect, even though he's a hero now, and maybe a little bit more.
それで聖騎士団は何人残る？
およそ50人。いずれも信頼できる者たちだ。
まだまだ。
I don't understand this. These knights are fucking useless. We have seen them a bunch of time, and at best, 2 of them are worth 1 enemy, and that is already bad. So, you know, you have 50 trustworthy knights. That is awesome. I'm assuming they're all dead. They're all going to die. She's going to survive, maybe. I hope. Even though it feels like they want her dead as well. Or not necessarily dead, but they would be fine sacrificing her.
足りねえな。ベネティムもミルニデ監獄から囚人をかき集めたが。
囚人を？賄賂か。
ああ、死刑囚ばかりだから好きにしろとよ。罪人の扱いはどこも一緒だ。
お、見えたよ。
Okay, so this is the idea that, again, if we have so many of these, make them all heroes. But for some reason we don't. So I feel like there's just a limit on how many heroes you can have. Because if not, it would just make sense. Because you don't really care about the heroes. So, oh, it's a punishment worse than death. You don't care. Just get a bunch of them out. Maybe, you know, the collar, we never saw them activate. So we don't know if that is, I believe at least. So we don't even know if they can blow the heads off. So maybe the heroes could revolt if there are too many. It also could be that, you know, at some point, one of the heroes could be like a healer. I mean, then still, if the head is gone, I was thinking maybe one of them could be a healer. He could heal the ones that got the head blown off. Maybe it's a one-time thing, this head blow off mark. A lot of questions. But there's a reason why we don't have a bunch of heroes, I feel like.
罪人の扱いはどこも一緒だ。
お、見えたよ。フェアリーの石膏かも。
マジっすか？どれどれ？なんか犬っぽいっすね。カーシーじゃないかな。
この距離で見えるのか。
こいつの視力は人間離れしてんだ。サーブ、いけるか？
まあやってみます。しくじってもぶち殺さないでくださいよ。
Interesting. I mean, it looks like a spear. It's probably like the staff. I mean, you see a little, you know, something to aim. You see the green stuff. It feels like the thunder staff.
殺さないでくださいよ。
バークル社製のひなぎくか。
ああ。
Daisy, made by Vocal Corp.
ああ。陛下が調律した狙撃用だ。
Majesty returned. Is this his weapon he had before? Oh, also he had 2. He has 2 tubes. Okay. So this is a sniper. Looks more... He's holding it similar to like a rocket launcher.
あ、でも本当にいいんすか？群れに仲間とかいたらかわいそうだ。
黙って撃てねえのか。
了解っす。大当たりでしょ。
でもまだいるよ。
はいはい。
Is he so good at aiming and shooting that he is, you know, shooting in front of them and hitting them? Or does he have... Can you manipulate the bullet a little bit?
任せて大丈夫なのか？
こいつらの組み合わせはうるせえが仕事はする。特にサーブの狙撃は外してるところを見たことがねえ。さて次は罠を仕掛けに行くぞ。 なんだよ。
この状況でも諦めないのか。
俺たちが死んで喜ぶ連中の好きにさせてたまるか。それにあいつの有用性だかなんだかを。
お前はこう焦って部隊を危険にさらした成り
Hmm.
上がりも
Again, she had a bunch of rumors and stuff, which turned out to be not as right as she
ものと
seemed.
も聞いていた。
そういうあんたはどこの貴族の出身だ？
貴族ではない。
Hmm. Hmm. Does it mean knight commanders normally are nobles? Was he a noble then? I don't remember if we know that he was a noble or not. But, you know, the question is very, you know, leading that only nobles are commander.
嘘だろ。それで正規
Hmm, okay. Order captain.
師団長なんてガルトゥイルが許すのか？
私の叔父は大司祭だ。
Hmm.
神殿のほぼ最高位じゃねえか。道理で知らねえはずだ。
兄貴
That explains why he didn't know. Didn't know what? Her? Or her noble family? Oh, right. So, that would more or less mean he was a noble at some point. I don't remember if he was in a different kind of unit, because she's in a knight order unit. I believe he was as well, but maybe he was in a different kind of unit where you can be a commoner to rise up. But I'm assuming now that he was a noble at some point. I do not remember if that was the case. And it seems like he knew more or less all the important people. And, you know, he was questioning who is she? Where is she from? Which kind of noble house? But her father was a high priest in the church. And he's like, oh, that is why I didn't know. Because he probably was never really interested in the church aspect. Because he's a military man. A little bit questionable why she is still the commander here. It would also make it more feasible that she would be seen as a potential sacrificial lamb. Because, you know, she is with the church and they are with the military. So even though she is part of the military, she may not be on their side. So if she dies, nothing lost.
兄貴終わりましたぜ100発100中っすよ
ドッタとザードはここで待機だ。キビア、行くぞ。
Interesting that they're on first name basis. I'm assuming this is the goddess. Poison goddess.
残るそうだな、キビア団長。勇者どもの死を見届けたいなど、いささか悪趣味だとは思うが、無事を祈ろう。
私からも無事をお祈りします、キビア。
ペルメリ、あまり
Interesting.
キビア。
ペルメリ。
私からも無事をお祈りします、キビア。
Is that the idea of the cross?
無事をお祈りします、キビ
Looks like a circle to the top,
ア。
and then you strike down.
ペルメリ、あまり離れるな。こいつは女神殺しだ。
はい、フォード。離れません。フォード、この度の役目。
It is so weird how they behave. Because essentially she doesn't care. She doesn't care who's what. She just wants to be praised.
私は有用でしたか？
完璧だ。疑いの余地はない。
でしたら
Is she deserving of some head pats?
さすがペルメリーはないのですか？
I feel like she's going to die. I feel like she's going to die.
了解した。さすがペルメリ。では失礼する。
あれが第9の女神か。
ああ、ペルメリー様だ。契約した第9聖騎士団の団長フォード・クリビオスは知ってるな。
元は南に広大な領土を持つ貴族だったが、クリビオス産のワインといえば高級品だからな。ただ置いてったのはワインとはに。
Oh yeah, so this is all the
で
poison.
も似つかねえが。
That is a shit ton of
い
poison.
やー大変っすね。魔王を要塞に引き入れてこのオーダルを起爆するわけっすか？
ああ、猛毒でイブリスを殺し続ける。
それって俺らみんな死にますよね。嫌だな。
The idea is to have the demon lord here and have like a poison field that continuously poisons this demon lord to counteract the regeneration to kill it, I guess, or is it just to keep it at bay? Because essentially they don't really know if this works. Really, if it would just kill the demon lord. They did try something similar. It was very effective. That is why they're doing this. Now, how long is the poison going to last? If the poison is going to last for a long time, they are not expecting to get the heroes back, I guess.
なんか腹立つから誰か殺しとこうかな。
ああ、お前今なん
Ooh, I feel like we have someone dead at his hands.
だ喧嘩売ってんのか。
And I also feel like, yeah, I don't know. If he's not dead, he definitely has broken fingers.
お前みたいに
For a moment, I was like, oh, is he going to explode the barrels? No.
お前みたいな勇者風情が調子に乗るなよ。
メロゾフレク
Very lucky.
メロゾフレク
分かったよ。
なんで殺す必要がある？
腹いせですよ。兄貴だってイラついたら石とか蹴飛ばすじゃないですか。
石と人間は違うだろ。
人間差別だ。人間だって大自然の一部なんすから、特別扱いするのはどうかと。
見つけましたよ、ザイロ。
Is she going to stay here? I feel like that is dangerous. I feel like she can't stay here, right?
女神様、上手にお留守番できました？
軽口は結構です。それより私に内緒で出かけましたね。我が騎士にあるまじき行いです。
テオリッタ様、我々は責務を全うしていたのです。どうかお慈悲を。
ザイロ、キビアと楽しく偵察できたようですね。
I mean, maybe she enjoyed it more than him. Still, I feel like they have to get the goddess back, right? She can't stay here in the poison. She's going to die. And then you've lost the goddess. Maybe that is the idea, but could you still dissect her? I don't know.
楽しい偵察なんてこの世にねえよ。
テオリッタ様、 こちらは森で摘んだ木の実です。なかなか甘いですよ。
森で木の実を摘みましたか。一緒に。それは楽しそうですね。
いえ、私はただ責務を果たすために。
ザイロ、我が騎士、第9聖騎士団を
He's not even listening.
私は見ました。
お、そうか。そうか。
そうかではありません。いいですか。あの女神は1日に7回も頭を撫でてもらっていました。
だからなんだよ。
私はまだ1回も撫でてもらっていません。7回撫でろとは言いませんが、その半分くらい。私はまだ1回も撫でてもらっていません。
そうか。
もうなぜわからないのですか。
そんなことより人手が足りねえ。このままだとフェアリーどもに蹂躙されて終わりだ。
キビア団長。
It is interesting. I mean, before it was like, you know, she was dropping hints, you know, little hints or 90% hints of, you know, she wants her head pet. She's now outright stating she just wants the affirmation. Does something happen if you don't give them their affirmation? Head pets, telling them they did good. Is something going to happen? Is this like their life energy?
裏門に見慣れぬ者たちがその男に会いに来たと言っております。
I'm guessing it's you know, death row inmates?
俺に？お前ら。
この要塞に詰めてると聞いたんで、しがない子。
Oh! Interesting. I mean, that is a very nice gesture. Totally. Problem is, this is a killing field, you know, it's not really good to have you die here for no reason.
でも
Right?
手伝えることはありますよね。
俺たちの状況は知ってるんだよな。
命を救ってくれた王と英雄を助けたいと思うのは当然でしょ
う。悪いが、俺たちは王でも英雄でもねえ。家族のところに帰。
I feel like this is going to be very dangerous. Not only are they here and if they stay here, they're going to die. The whole idea that the village more or less sees them as some kind of savior and potentially the other dude as something like a king. Again, this could lead to a revolt at some point where they are going to go against the king and reinstate these heroes as saviors. So I don't know. If I were the king, I would potentially want to get rid of these, you know, of this powder keg before it becomes too big.
俺たちのためでもあるんです。みんなこの辺りの集落出身なんです。鉱山に続いてこの要塞までダメになったら食いぶちも心の支えもなくなります。
I mean, understandable. It's like we need to protect this fortress, this area. Otherwise, everything gets overrun. Understandable.
気持ちはわからなくもねえが、わざわざ拾った命。
よくぞ来た、我が民よ。諸君らこそ我が王国の戦士、誠の意味での勇士である。
兵か、余計なこと言うんじゃねえ。
何を言うザイロ総帥。我が軍は兵力が足りておらんのだぞ。
なこと分かってるよ。だがこいつらは
無論民に命を投げ出せとは言わぬ。しかし世を手伝うことはできよう。いかに複雑な聖院彫刻の作業であろうと、世が設計図を示せば十分な働き手となる。
Interesting. He is not really good at fighting. He is the one that is the producing type of person that supports. So he's saying, hey, we can, under my tutelage, we can make all of these seals and help this way instead of actively fighting.
世に従う民の力があればこの要塞も強固な軍事要塞と化すであろう。そして共に勝利の栄光をつかもうぞ。
Again, this feels very dangerous. The whole seeing him as a king, you have another king, he's probably going to be like, you know, you don't see me as a king, so you don't deserve my protection. Maybe we see you as an enemy, we need to get rid of you. A little bit dangerous, a little bit dangerous. Another part, could the king make, you know, a rune that protects someone from the explosion on the neck? Or could he maybe, because it seems like that is the rune itself, could he maybe tamper with that? I feel like it's very dangerous to have him as a hero. If he has also seemingly the ability to bring people on his side. Unless that is what the glasses guy wants. Maybe he wants this turmoil. For what? I don't know. Maybe he wants to get rid of the king. He wants to be the king himself. Many possibilities, but it is very dangerous to have these kinds of heroes. Okay.
さて、ここまでは作戦通りですね。ではザイロ君、作戦の説明をどうぞ。
達也は地下道の封鎖だ。聖騎士を20人くらい連れて行ってくれ。サーバー裏も近づくやつは全て撃て。
お、出番っすね。そういや、ドッタさんは？
あいつには別の仕事がある。
Classic. He's gone. He's stealing something. I don't know what he's stealing. He has another job that you gave him? Or did he just say he has another job? He's going to, you know, he's going to appear at the right time and is like, oh yeah, I stole this item that is totally going to help us. I stole this antidote for the poison. Some kind of, you know, at the right time. Now, I find it a little bit, you know, we have Sava will be at the back gate, shoot anyone who comes close. I feel like he is going to attack potential allies.
次、甲府たちは正面後方。聖騎士たちの後方支援だ。羽橋は命令で上げらんねえから危険度が高い。無理せず、半日を目安に粘ってくれ。
全員の調律を進めておこう。
それでザイロ君はどうします？
撃って出る。
Hello?
さすがは兄貴っすね。
いいか、フェアリーの進行をできるだけ持ちこたえ、イブリス本体を引きずり出す。奴が要塞に到達する前に、あらかじめ仕掛けた罠で仕留める。全員が生き残るにはこれしかね
え。Interesting. Okay. 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 So everyone has a job apart from Swindler Dude. He has no job. Everyone else, Tatsuya is underground. We have Saf at the back gate. Tatsuya is underground, yeah. The miners we have in the back with the king. Dota is doing something. And he is not doing anything. I feel like this is more or less his ability to just, you know, put everyone else in the position and slowly but surely retreat. We never saw him fighting, even though he was supposedly one of the heroes that came closest to saving humanity. Even though we know he's a swindler, so we can't really trust his words. But the main idea is, hey, you hold the fort, I go out, and I'm going to single-handedly somehow kill the demon lord. Because that is in his mind, only way for everyone to survive. Spoiler alert, I'm assuming he's going to succeed. Again, assumption, don't know. Essentially spoiler. But how the story goes, I'm assuming he's going to succeed. They are still going to blow up the poison remotely, or have someone in the night, from the knights, do that for the knight commander outside, or the goddess. And essentially kill everyone. Because the whole plan is not only to defeat the demon lord, it is also to get rid of all of these heroes. That is the idea. The whole plan is, it's like two flies with one rock. Two birds with one rock. Flies maybe, birds.
絶対に到達する前にあらかじめ仕掛けた罠で仕留める。全員が生き残るにはこれしかねえ。
てめえふざけんなよ。殺すぞ。調子乗ってんじゃねえ。
なんで勇者に命令さ。
So these are the death row inmates. I mean, you don't really have a choice. He can just kill you.
なきゃならねえんだよ。ああ、お前らは人間以下だろうが。この女神殺し野郎。
I feel like that was Tsar.
兄貴を怒らせないでくださいよ。俺まで巻き添え食いたくないんで。
なんで俺じゃなく。
なんでって、あんたの方がガタイが良くて元気もいいからよく働くんじゃないかなと思って。
It is interesting, his thought process. He is right. He would just wanted to shoot someone, I feel like. But he's right that the other dude would be more beneficial for the defense. I mean, he's now going to get shoot out by Xylo. But I feel like there was no real other way to get this under control.
ザーブ、それなりに効果的だったとは思うが二度とするな。
あ、そうっすよね。やっぱ殺し
Yeah, no.
た方が良かった。いいって
違う。さっさと運んで全員で止血しとけ。
At least they are now under his control.
何の用だ。
実はザイロ君に封書が届きまして、差出人は
ダメだ。
A sealed message is from. So I'm assuming that is some kind of noble house. He doesn't want it, huh? Which means that he's going to read it. Anyway.
差出人は
Did we have that happen already once?
ダメだ。封書は燃やせ。
差出人はフレンシー・マスティボルト。マスティボルト家って確か南方のヤキの一族ですよね。こちらが兵を貸してもいいと。私
They want to lend us some soldiers, huh? Why do you know that? Did you read the message already?
個人としてはぜひとも協力を仰ぎたいと。できれば
この話は終わりだ。
わかりましたよ。およそ2000の派兵を失うのは残念ですが。
Why do you know it's 2000?
それよりジェイスとライノは無理なのか？
ジェイス君にはニーリーに無理をさせたくない殺すぞと言われました。ライノーからは無視されてます。
I'm still questioning how he knows that information. If that is a sealed letter. It seems like Xylo doesn't want to for some reason. Maybe he has a connection with them. He doesn't want to get the connection back up. Maybe he doesn't like them. I feel like it's more protective. He doesn't want to pull them into this. It could also be that they are potentially bad, like spies or whatever, which also would make it weird that the guy behind the scenes was pushing somewhat for that. It feels like he read the message and resealed that, which is also a little bit weird. I mean, that is the point. The idea is you don't really want to trust any of the heroes because they are essentially criminals. But this is a little bit weird.
志願して勇者になったくせに相変わらずですよ。
傭兵の方は
連絡はしてみましたけど、報酬がないことには。
金策はドッタがやってる。間に合えばいい。
Got us out raising money, huh? Yeah. I feel like we have a little bit of a communication problem here. Raising money means you go and ask for money. I mean, essentially, raising money means you increase the money, essentially. My idea would be to ask people, like a fundraiser. His idea is probably to yoink a lot of money.
早いとこ甲府たちは下げろ。あいつらにまで戦わせるなんて世も末だ。
世も末。ザイロ君、もしですよ。
I also am a little bit suspicious of he altered some of the plans the other, knight dude had, the one responsible for this whole idea. And I feel like there are some questionable things that he did. So it feels like he does a good job what he's doing, but it feels like a lot of self-serving aspects.
実際に人類を破綻させたい人々がいるとしたらどうします？
何？
Was it this show? No. Yes? No. I don't... Didn't we hear about that? Was it this show? Was it just an idea? Was it a different show? I don't know. Wasn't there like the idea that there could be spies from the demon lords inside the human realm that want to more or less bring the kingdom down, so the demon lords can then overrun them? Was it a different one? Not sure.
ザイロ君は陰謀論は好きですか？
クソくだらねえ。お前が書いてたイカれた記事のことは知ってるが。
Right. Now I remember. Right, he put out an article about that. And then he got sentenced to be a hero because not because he did a wrong article, because he was too close to the truth. Which is very interesting in today's world as an idea. To get too close to the truth and you get the shaft. Wouldn't happen with our civilization, never. Which is still bringing me back to the point, why is he a hero? Wouldn't it be better if he was dead? Because then the secret would be gone. But this way, the secret is still alive. And you can't really kill the secret. Which also brings up a good point. Stav died a bunch of times already, but he never changed. Did he never change because of the training he went through, the torturing and stuff? Did he never change because he already was a little bit cuckoo in the head? Or did he never change because his hero ritual was different? And they can decide what the effect is whenever you die. Maybe that is the idea? Maybe that is one aspect? Which would still, you know, maybe the glasses guy is the one that he wrote about, because he was the one that put him as a hero. So all of these heroes are more or less pawns in the idea to overthrow the human kingdom? Maybe? But Xylo is pretty effective at killing demon lords, so I don't know. It is definitely interesting. Let's see what he has to say. Coexistence advocate. Okay.
考えてもガセネタだろ。まあそう考えるのも当然でしょうが。
I do like that no one is questioning how some of these people got sentenced to be a hero. Xylo, he can see himself being sentenced. He could even see Stav maybe getting sentenced. But it's like a couple of these people don't really make sense. I mean, even Stav is, it seems like the normal way would be to sentence him to death. Why is he a hero?
実際に魔王を崇拝したり、魔王との共生を掲げる勢力が人類を負けさせるために動いているとしたら納得できませんか？この支離滅裂な作戦も。
Would it? Would it? Would it explain this nonsensical plan? I don't know. What exactly about this plan is furthering the demise of humanity? Because essentially the plan is defeating one of the demon lords, probably getting rid of a bunch of heroes. I don't know if the idea is to get rid of them permanently or not. Potentially getting rid of one of the goddesses. That I can see how that would be detrimental, because I believe in the first episode we heard that they were made to fight the demon lords. So I can see that happening, okay. But there are many parts that don't really further the demon lords unless the poison is not bad for the demon lord. But from the very beginning, this whole plan is strange.
そんな奴らがいるとしたら、クソったれのゲス野郎どもだろうな。
Oh, just the flags, okay. Yeah, I don't really know how this would further the demon lords and hinder the humans. That is a part I don't really understand too much. Unless, again, the poison is actively helping the demon lord. Which then fine. Getting rid of heroes, maybe. But it feels like that the glasses guy is a part of that faction, of the demon lord faction. Or maybe the glasses guy only got the command to put him as a hero because he got too close. and the glasses guy is trying to assemble a group of people, the heroes, to potentially rescue the humanity. It is a little bit, you know, he seems very bad, very evil in what he does. At least he's shown as the evil overlord, the glasses guy. So we will have to see. I feel like we still need a bunch more pieces. Especially after this is resolved, we probably will find out what exactly is going on. What was the idea? What was the plan?
来ましたよ、漫画騎士。
越したパワーだ。
Vanguard of the Horde. Oh, for a moment I was like, did we get reinforcements? No.
さあ、始まるぞ。
この戦に人類の未来がかかっている。我らの国土を守るのだ。総員構え。
かね。後方支援つったろうが。
ここだ。
I mean, he could just come back as a hero, but I guess this is the start of the fight. Now, Xylo is going to go and try to get rid of the Demon Lord. Meanwhile, the rest tries to defend the... Oh, electrifying palisade. Okay. Oh. Now, can we do this more often? The whole ruins, they have like a battery life that is with the sunlight and stuff, so you can't do this unendingly.
Hey, ちょっと前に出過ぎじゃないですかね。ベネティムさん、ぶっちゃけ陛下に何
Venetim. I guess this is the guy on the back line.
要塞持たないですよ。
私も必死で止めたんですよ。でも話を聞いてくれなくて。
ベネティムさんから口先の出任せ取ったら何が残るんすか？
ちょくちょく失礼ですよね、サーブは。
騎兵の道を開くキビア団長たちの援護行くぞ第13聖騎士団発撃
So she has this special lamp. Interesting. Similar?
あれって
ああ、こっちも確認した。信じたくねえが。
Interesting. They launch fire?
まずい。これじゃ全員がダメになった。あれをしまえ。引火するぞ。
第2波来ます。
数が多すぎる。
次はさばききれません。
シェイモン、鉄道しかもう持たない。突破される。
くそったれ。このままだと魔王が出てくる前に。
So we got humans on the enemy side. We now have the crews. Now, first off, a little bit weird that a couple fire arrows were enough to burn down the whole defense. Second, we did not really get a good view, but should they not convert if they touch the blight? The miners converted to some kind of creature. They did not. It also makes it more believable. The first demon lord we encountered was said to be like strategically moving his troops. Now, if there's a human behind, moving these units, makes a lot more sense. Now, these guys are here, so it's weird. So, the demon lords were not here before. None of the units. They didn't know what was going on, the defense. These humans appeared. They knew exactly how to defeat the defensive lines that our people had. Probably they, were on the back lines looking what happened. Saw the barricades. They attacked the barricades with their flaming arrows. But the whole engagement seems to be coordinated then. So the question is, are they just humans here that are part of the Demon Lord force? How are they not getting converted? What really is going on? And is there maybe a human behind the scenes, more or less being like Venetum, coordinating where these, where the Demon Lords attack and stuff? Because from the very beginning, why is the Demon Lord even coming here to the fort? I believe it was mentioned last episode, but there's no real benefit to attack the fort. Normally, if you are at war, attacking a fort is a very nice defensive position where you can retreat to, and you can have like food and water stocked up, and you have like some supply lines you can reinforce this way. But for demon lords, they don't really matter that much. They can just go around the fort. There's no real benefit attacking a fort. So it's a little bit weird why they attack the fort. The question is, are there maybe people inside the knights that tip them off? Maybe the whole plan by, poisoning the demon lord is just a ruse? It could be that maybe whenever they want to detonate the barrels, there's no poison in it, essentially. Maybe the demon lord was never susceptible to poison. We only heard from the commander that it worked. So a lot of questions. But very interesting.